I would like to ask you about, obviously, situation concerning everyone at the moment, so war in Ukraine. What about the food safety around Europe? What's going to happen now?
Well, we are very convinced that the European agricultural sector will show its resilience, and we will do our utmost to make sure that we will have sufficient supplies of foodstuffs, safe, nutritious, affordable, high quality food for all Europeans. But it doesn't happen for its own. We need to work hard for it, like we did in COVID-19 with other stakeholder groups. We are convinced that we can do it. But then now the important factor with the Russian aggression in Ukraine is that the third countries will be very severely affected because the volumes of Ukrainian trade are missing now from the international scene, and there will be most probably some hiccups also with Russian deliveries because they also protect their own internal market as they have declared. So this means that there is a huge risk for increased volatility and higher prices for international market, and especially for third countries that traditionally have had some difficulties in paying for those high prices. Last time we had this, we had Arab Spring, and that is not in the interest of the stability of our neighboring regions in Europe.
Yes, Ukraine is a very strong producer of grains and seed oil, so it can be very tough situation in the world. So people are threatened about the food safety, and it's concerning everyone now. So I hope I've seen the COPA-COGECA press release, and you will make sure that everything will be fine. Yes.
Well, we ask for using the whole potential of European agricultural output. And we very strongly believe that we can combine increased sustainability with the maintenance of our output. We need policy tools, we need technologies, we need more balanced food chain in rewarding those sustainability efforts. And then we have to have coherence when it comes to our other policies such as trade. We need to have what we call mirror clause in place. We need to require the same standards from imports that the European farmers are investing here in Europe, also here in Poland.
Yes, and what do you think the European Commission will loosen up a little bit now with these strict Green Deal excessive rules, or you think they will stick to the previous plan?
We very much welcome Mr. Wojciechowski's statement immediately after the informal meeting of agriculture ministers last week, when he said that we need to make sure that we produce enough food. Food security is important. Commission Executive Vice President, however, has actually had some other thoughts, and he's pushing ahead. But the reality is that the European citizens, once they face the consequences in the marketplace, would have a serious concern if we exclude our potential in Europe, especially when it comes to land use. If we have fields uncultivated and we don't produce food while we actually are suffering from higher prices in the marketplace, that will do the trick for the consumers to say that perhaps we should once again emphasize the importance of producing food as a part of the CAP.
Okay, and what about Commissioner Timmermans? Because he's as well, well, I could quote him that he said, I would argue that farm to fork is part of the answer, food security, and it's not the part of the problem. So, do you agree with this?
Well, Mr. Timmermans is a bit reluctant to recognize the fact that European agriculture has to produce food, and we need some assistance of his services for this. The Green Deal package is not sufficient. The Commission services itself has not been able to produce a global impact assessment of the Green Deal package, and is one of the most important political initiatives of the Union. So it's very strange to see that European Commission, as an executive of the Union, actually is heading and blindfolded to something that they consider politically very important. And we are talking about food. And therefore, we have some major concerns in doing major policy shifts, policy changes, when we don't know what the consequences would be. And recognizing this in the Commission, that they don't have the capabilities to analyze the consequence, would actually mean that they would have to think much more carefully what they propose to sectors such as food, which is fundamentally important for us all.